Welcome to another edition of What You Meme News. I'm your amazing host here in Crystal Clear, and I got a show for you. Let's get into it. Let's go. Happy Friday, everybody. Hantavirus and the X-Files. Yep. The viral clip that has people looking twice. Mulder, what is it? Well, a little thing called hantavirus. It's the sin nombre virus, means without a name. A silent weapon for a quiet war. Yep, this was in the X-Files movie Fight the Future 1998 movie that dropped. Yes, the X-File connection. In the X-Files movie, hantavirus is used as a part of a cover story in the fictional government conspiracy involving hidden programs, emergency powers, and public fears. Fictional? Maybe. Eerily relevant? You decide. So the truth is, the hantavirus is real, rare, and dangerous, and has been known since the 1990s. The X-Files did not predict a new virus, but it did capture the fear, the secrecy, and the questions people still have today. So what is hantavirus? Hantaviruses are rare viruses spread by rodents through urine droppings or saliva in America. Some hantaviruses can cause hantapulmonary syndrome, a serious lung disease that can become deadly. Now, hantavirus outbreak has been reported on a cruise ship, and now all of the people that was on that ship has now been dispersed in the public to be the rats to spread the new bad. Yeah. Yep. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. They gave you all kind of references. They pointed to it. Listen, bottom line, the viral clip is not proof that fiction became fact, but it does show that people no longer blindly trust official narratives. Asking question is not misinformation. It's just fucking common sense. Okay? Please believe it. Your government is busting their ass to make sure they depopulate, maybe, This is crazy. Yep. They're back at it again with the vans. They sure the fuck are. You knew it was coming. You should have paid attention. Oh, and another thing that clings to dear life now. We're doing Homelander politics. If you haven't paid attention, when a politician becomes a messiah brand, democracy is in danger. From the screen fiction to real life spectacle, the warning signs of idol worship. Why in the world is your government running the playbook from The Boys? One of my favorite shows, great shows, not to mention Soldier Boy is the ultimate. But please, why is entertainment mimicking life? Why is these movies and shows mimicking life? Because, baby, right now, Trump is really acting like Homelander. I swear to fucking God. I swear to fucking God. Homelander politics. Check this out. From The Boys to real life, the warning signs of political idol worship are getting harder to ignore. In a functioning republic, elected officials are supposed to be public servants, accountable to the people, limited by law and subject to criticism. But in modern America, politics have drifted into something much darker, with personality worship. That what was once civic loyalty is now becoming something closer to religious devotion. That is why the recent wave of Trump imagery, including comparisons to Jesus Christ and Masonic style portrayals, is striking such a nerve. To many observers, the imagery does not just look like political sport, it looks like adultery. And for one watching The Boys, the parallel is hard to miss. Homelander, the fictional tyrant wrapped in patriotism and media worship, is not simply a violent superhero. He is warning about what happens when the public stops seeing a leader as a man and starts treating him as something sacred. He thrives on image, praise, fear, grievance, and blind loyalty. And he's marketed as a savior while operating above normal moral limits. That same pattern is what troubled critics of Trump's growing mythologized image. When supporters circulate pictures comparing Trump's legal and political troubles to the sufferings of Jesus. Yes, I fucking said it. I said it. This dude has a bigger rap sheet than a felonious inmate, prison inmate doing hard time right goddamn now. Okay? The rap sheet is longer than your mommy coochie lips. You hear me? I promise you. This man got a rap sheet so long, it is a 33-inch bust down. Do you hear me? Okay? All right. They are doing more than defending the politician. They are elevating him into a spiritual symbol. In that framework, accountability becomes persecution, criticism, and it becomes blasphemy, and loyalty becomes a test of faith. That is dangerous territory in any democracy. The concern deepened when Trump promoted the Bible tied to his image and campaign era messaging. Critics argue that it blurred the line between faith and politics, turning scripture into marketing instruments. Symbolically, it felt eerily similar to the kind of spectacle the boys satirizes, and power packages patriotism, and patriotism wrapped in religion. And religion is used to shield a public figure from scrutiny. This is Homelander's formula, everyone. And history shows that once a leader becomes untouchable in the minds of followers, institutions begin to weaken. Courts are attacked, journalists are demonized, and opponents are painted as enemies of the people. Truth becomes optional, image becomes everything. And the issue is bigger than one man. It is emotion. A politician should never be treated as Christ. No elected official should be above criticism, and no public servant should become a sacred figure whose behavior is excused because his followers believe he represents a chosen destiny. That is not democracy. That is beginning of something far more authoritarian. And maybe that is why the boys resonate so strongly right now. Beneath the gore and the satire is a simple message. When people worship power instead of questioning it, the monster wins. For Americans watching politics slide deeper into the spectacle and grievance and religious branding, the message is clear. The moment the people start calling a politician a savior, freedom is already in danger. Welcome to the 5th season of The Boys. Bitch, I can't make this up. Art imitates life. Art imitates life. I promise you, I cannot make this up. This is what's going on right now. Season 2026, I guess spring 2026, planet Earth. I promise you, this is what's going on. Let's see what else I got for you. Guess what? I fact checked this through artificial intelligence and through all the artificial intelligence pipeline. Okay, I literally remember this, and you remember when I showed you the side effects from taking the JAB, right? Well, guess what? Hantavirus was listed in Pfizer's COVID vaccine safety monitoring document. I kid you not. But it was listed for monitoring as an adverse event of special interest. I can't make this shit up. So now for season 2026 spring, they're going to bring in the hantavirus, as they did the So just prepare yourselves. Instead of it being bats transmitting the biochemical, it's gonna be rats transmitting the biochemical. You know what? Their thinking level is such a kindergarten. Bats, rats. Do you have to really make the villain rhyme? Bats and rats? That's crazy. Anyway, fact checked. I have fact checked it. It's been proven. Hantavirus listed in Pfizer's COVID vaccine safety monitoring document, but not as a proven side effect. A Pfizer post-authoritarian safety report included hantavirus infection on its AESI monitoring list, but does that mean the vaccine was confirmed to cause it? All right. A claim circulating online says that the hantavirus was listed as a side effect of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. The truth is more precise and the wording matters. Yes, hantavirus infection appeared in the Pfizer's post-authorization safety report connected to COVID-19 vaccine, but it was not listed as a confirmed side effect. It was listed as an adverse event. Hint, hint. Side effect. Confirmed side effect. It was listed as an adverse event of special interest, also called AESI, meaning something flagged for monitoring and signal detection, not proof of confirmed causation. That distinction is critical. What the document actually shows is the reporter's question is for Pfizer's post-authorization safety report for COVID-19 vaccine in that document. Hantavirus infection appears on the broader list of medical events categorized as the adverse events of special interest. In plain language, that means it was included to be on the watch list. Just like how they predict what season you're gonna have. Watch list. A watch list is not the same thing as verified outcome caused by the shot. Pharmaceutical safety monitoring often tracks a wide range of serious and unusual medical events after a product goes to market. These events may come from spontaneous reports, medical literature, health agencies, or other reporting systems, and the purpose of this is to detect possible signals that may need further review. Okay? Why people are confused. This is where a lot of public confusion begins. People see a term listed in a safety document and assume if it's in the document, it must be confirmed. And it is. We just got to say all this shit for legality and so that we can post this video. Anyway, it's here. Pandemic 2.0. Don't you forget about it. The hantavirus infection appeared in the Pfizer's COVID vaccine safety monitoring document as an adverse event of special interest. Meaning you better monitor yourself. Okay. That is a defensible fact check. This is what you mean news reality check. Oh yeah. Bottom line is here. You knew Pandemic 2.0 was coming. You knew it. But the perfect setup that really blew me is that you put it on a cruise ship and you let the test subjects that you injected the biochemical with into the wild, wild world. That's insanity. Okay, you want me to believe you didn't set that shit up. Okay. Now, you broke the story that the outbreak happened on a ship. And you just so casually let those test subjects go and pretend you can't track them or quarantine them or isolate them. You quarantined a globe. And you want to tell me you can't quarantine 21 to 100 people. Okay, control test subject. I see where this is going. The Walking Dead, you 28 days later. You are 30 days and 30 nights crazy, you know? Outbreak kind of stuff. I get it. Oh, this place is crazy. Oh, your government said it again. Yep, your government said it again. I can't make this up. Anyway, whoo, child. Oh, it's been a long week. It's been a very long week. Tennessee has decided to take.
Show you all the magnitude. This is water. I came up on the second floor parking deck area. That's just how much water has gushed down here at the State House. Now, let me just say this. And I'll say this, and I want y'all to hear me. God don't like it. Not only is it this much rain, they have evacuated the building because now there's a gas leak. I can't make it up. God is not pleased with what went on in this building today. So what you're looking at behind me is this water that came down, that flooded. That's a parking lot. Turn it around so y'all can see. Y'all see those garbage cans? Where this one is right here is where this one over here should be. All the cars had to be removed from over here. The water was up above most of the cars. Some started floating. I can tell y'all right now, I'm no soothsayer. But what I do know for sure is that the Lord, the God I serve is real. Alabama State House. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So much so that it interrupted the Senate debate on the bill for reapportionment that we came down here to debate. So much so when they pushed off on the foot soldiers. So much so that folks were in distress. Foot soldiers crying. Foot soldiers angry. Foot soldiers hurt. Foot soldiers feeling bruised and abused here. Y'all better know God is still working. And that's what this shows. Let me go down here and check on my car. I hope my car at some point is drivable. But I just wanted to show you all the magnitude of where we are and the fact that God stopped those Senate proceedings upstairs. So I'm going to show y'all just how much water is gushing through. Y'all see that thing? That's a drain. That is a drain right there. Y'all look right here where my finger is pointing. That is a drain right there. So now you see all other people out of the building. Everybody's coming out. That the people that were still here. These are the senators. So these are the senators that are coming out. And they had to end up cycling. If that ain't telling them something. What we're dealing with down here, ethylene, is evil. Wickedness in high places. That's what. Don't let him jump. Listen, at the end of the day, a drain right here. This is a drain. Look at the water.
Child, stop trying to take black folks' rights away. Anyway, it's happening. It's happening, and it's out here in
How much
bad.
damage did this one little man do to this country?
Anthony Fauci, through his illicit activities, appeared to have resulted in millions of American casualties through 4 mechanisms. American casualties.
So guess who had 5 days left to prosecute Anthony Fauci and did not? Your government, your Congress. You need to prosecute him. He's supposed to be prosecuted as of today in less than, I want to say, 12 minutes. They got 12 minutes to prosecute this motherfucker before it be too late. Before it becomes too late. His criminal activities have resulted in millions of casualties. And they're about to let him go free because his 5-year statute of limitations is over with now. Mind you, he's been through the administration with the first Trump administration, then the Biden administration, and now back in the Trump administration. So both presidents let him go without being prosecuted within the 5 years of the statute's limitations. This world is sick. And they're going to do it again. Anyway.
Through 4 mechanisms. The first one was obviously through his agency funding gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab, leading to a global pandemic that killed 7 million people globally and over 1 million Americans. The second mechanism was suppression of early treatment protocols during the early pandemic, suppressing hydroxychloroquine, suppressing ivermectin. The third mechanism was hospital protocols, pushing remdesivir and ventilators that killed many people. And the last mechanism was pushing hard vaccine mandates, experimental mRNA injection mandates, that we now have millions of adverse event reports in the vaccine adverse event reporting system, deaths, disabilities, and severe injuries. We got 4 days left. We need justice, right? We need justice. Yeah. We all want to see it. And he's the top man that we have verified evidence that he indeed committed various crimes. Ivermectin may help. Ivermectin may help with the...
Here we go again. I can't make this shit up. Hold on. So let's get into what we got. What do we have for today? Hey, okay. All right. Bill Gates insider engineered Hantavirus outbreak is military psyop designed to kill billions. Yep, we're back at it again with those vans. All right. The Hantavirus outbreak isn't natural. That's the explosive revelation from Gates Foundation insider who says the deadly strain is engineered through a partnership involving Bill Gates, Gavi, and DARPA. And the global rollout plan has been underway for months. What do we have?
The Hantavirus outbreak isn't natural. That's the explosive revelation from a Gates Foundation insider who says the deadly strain was engineered through a partnership involving Bill Gates, Gavi, and DARPA, and that the global rollout plan has been underway for months. According to the whistleblower, Gates and his friends at Moderna have also been developing a vaccine for the strain behind closed doors, positioning themselves to profit from the very crisis they're creating. And here's the chilling part. Bill Gates warned the world years ago that a future pandemic will kill billions. He delivered the warning with that trademark smirk, but he wasn't joking. He was telling the public exactly what the elite had planned. And now, that plan has entered its next phase. And once you see the evidence we're about to lay out, you'll understand why they're terrified of people connecting the dots. Before we dive in, we've got a free gift for the TPV audience. Last week, B-Mail sent the world's first fully encrypted email across every stage of delivery. A historic breakthrough. The world's first truly subpoena-proof email system has arrived. TPV viewers can claim their free tier today. All you have to do is pause this video and go to bmail.ag/r/TPV. A Gates Foundation insider claims the next phase of the elite agenda began the moment corporate media amplified the fear campaign surrounding the cruise ship MV Honduras, unquestioningly broadcasting the panic-driven narrative pushed by a professional travel influencer on board. The influencer wasn't just documenting events, he was playing a role in the operation, flooding social media and news outlets with hysteria of fear and exaggerated claims of chaos, designed to psychologically prime the public for what comes next.
And I'm sorry, how is it that there are 147 people on board with 3 people dead, 7 confirmed cases of the Hantavirus, and the only video we've all seen from inside the ship is one guy named Jake crying in his cabin? No, I'm sorry, I'm not buying it, okay? And then I read about one other passenger who was quoted in BBC and AP coverage named Kazim Hato, also known online as Ibn Hatuta. Sorry if I mispronounced that. This guy. And he sent over footage over WhatsApp to AP News and BBC, and he gave them quotes specifically saying, actually, morale is high. People are watching movies, reading, and drinking hot drinks. 3 people are dead. And then it gets even weirder because he's posting stuff like this on his story. You can pause to read it, but the second paragraph says, this whole situation has been blown out of proportion, partly because of one person panicking on the ship, whose video has been circulating on the media. While his reaction is valid, it doesn't represent the situation on board. Everyone else, 148 out of 149, has been calm. The situation is under control, and we just wish those who are sick a speedy recovery.
What's going on here? It just so happens the owners connected to the MV Honduras are involved in biolabs in the Netherlands, including work involving vaccines and animal testing for viral pathogens such as SARS-CoV-2 and other novel viruses. Just another coincidence, according to the media. But at a certain point, the coincidences start forming a pattern.
Oh, certainly we'll have one in the next 25 years. There's even some pathogens out there that we're watching over right now.
According to the Gates Foundation whistleblower, global elites have been quietly spreading hantavirus outbreaks while finalizing the vaccines they plan to mandate on terrified populations. They got the patent out of the way just last year. Impeccable timing as always. Once they had a vaccine in place, they had to create a lethal virus. Here's what we know about the new Hantavirus. Bill Gates, his globalist vaccine cartel Gavi, and DARPA have been working on developing more lethal strains of the virus. No wonder Bill Gates' Gavi knew that the next pandemic was going to be the Hantavirus. If you're experiencing deja vu right now, you're not alone.
Gavi was one of the first major platform initiatives of the World Economic Forum, and in many ways it serves us as a role model for how the public and private sector should cooperate in order to do some good work in a much more efficient way compared if governments alone or business alone or civil society alone would have acted. It showed not only what we can do, but it showed also how we can do what we are doing in a much more comprehensive way.
Straight from Klaus Schwab's mouth, Gavi are the stormtroopers of the global elite's biopharma terrorist wing. It gets even worse. But quickly, if you're researching dangerous material like this online, protect yourself. The surveillance grid is tightening by the day. VP.net was built for times like these. Next generation privacy tech designed so your activity stays your business. It's the only VPN in the world built so that even the provider itself can't spy on you. Something no other VPN can say. For our audience, plans start at just $5.55 a month. Check it out at vp.net/TPV. Now back to Gates, the world's leading bioterrorist, who also worked with DARPA to run a clinical trial with an Andes strain Hantavirus experimental gene therapy vaccine. The exact same strain behind the so-called outbreak on the cruise ship. You know, the cruise ship, with owners who own biolabs invested in vaccines and novel pathogens. Honestly, what are the chances of that? 1 in a trillion? About as likely as a sequence tied to a Moderna patent from 2016 just happening to be found inside the COVID spike protein. It's 2026. Given everything we know about Fauci's gain-of-function work, Gates' mRNA crimes, and Big Pharma's criminality, are we really still letting them get away with these crimes against humanity? What does it mean for humanity? We have the Gates Foundation insider speaking to us in just a moment. But first, some context. The fact Gates and his cronies were not punished for COVID means a virus with a fatality rate of the bubonic plague has been quietly seeded by psychopathic bioterrorists across the world.
You say, okay, what if a bioterrorist brought smallpox to 10 airports? How would the world respond to that? That there's naturally caused epidemics and bioterrorism caused epidemics that could even be way worse than what we experience today.
It means experimental mRNA vaccines tied to the usual Gates-linked networks are ready for rapid mass rollout the moment the orchestrated media panic creates a market. It means World Health Organization-aligned governments are under orders to ramp up pressure campaigns, pushing mandates on populations about to face the most aggressive wave of psychological manipulation from the media since 2020. It means the World Health Organization has been emboldened to openly call for one world governance in response to the outbreak.
Instead, this outbreak has seen why the world needs a global entity that coordinates this.
And it means the return of lockdowns, restrictions, digital controls, and emergency powers, all justified in the name of public safety, while unelected global institutions accelerate the Agenda 2030 framework they never abandoned in the first place. Because if you thought that agenda disappeared after COVID, you haven't been paying attention. Coming up next, we speak to the Gates Foundation insider who drops bomb after bomb on her former boss Bill Gates and reveals the numbers he's planning to kill with his next pandemic. Today's sponsor is pillsforever.com. If you think Big Pharma have your best interests at heart, think again. The price of medicine in America has skyrocketed, and there are certain medicines Big Pharma don't want you to know about. That's why I've partnered with pillsforever.com. All of their FDA-approved medicines are the cheapest you'll find anywhere. More importantly, you can order medicines that Big Pharma don't want you to have, such as ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and fenbendazole. Speaking of fenbendazole, not only does it get rid of parasites that live inside your body, there have been studies that show fenbendazole can help with cancer. Listen to this bombshell interview with Mel Gibson, who says 3 of his friends who had terminal cancer were cured by the very same ivermectin and fenbendazole available at pillsforever.com.
I have 3 friends. All 3 of them had stage 4 cancer. All three of them don't have cancer right now at all. And they had some serious stuff going on.
And what did they take?
Jesus. They took some, what you've heard they've taken.
Ivermectin? Fenbendazole? Yeah. I'm hearing that a lot.
They drank hydrochloride something or other.
Get 15% off using coupon code People's Voice at the checkouts. Please click the link below this video to take advantage of this fantastic offer. The media machine is allegedly already locked and loaded, ready to flood every screen with non-stop fear, panic, and psychological warfare designed to drive the public into obedience. But we can't say we haven't been warned. President Gaddafi warned us that the elite were working on a hantavirus outbreak, and that vaccines would be prepared to profit off the engineered pandemic.
زي الانفلونزا بتاعت الخنازير وان شاء الله تجي كمان الانفلونزا بتاعت الاسماك في المستقبل على اي حال لان المصانع تشتغل بتاعت المخابرات هذه لا يسمح ببيع الدواء لا يباع طبعا نقول الدواء مجاني الامصال المجانيه مش حتنتشر الفيروسات.
No wonder the globalists killed him.
We came, we saw, he died.
Then there was the X-Files, a known source of predictive programming. In the 1998 movie Fight the Future, Dr. Alvin Kurzweil tells Mulder that FEMA managed a small, possibly staged hantavirus outbreak in Texas to cover up alien infection. It's worth remembering the CIA used to feed script ideas to X-Files writers.
They want to discredit you for what?
Because I'm a dangerous man, because I know too much about the truth.
Now that end of the world apocalyptic garbage, you right?
You know my work? I was right about Dallas, wasn't I?
How are you right?
Are you familiar with the hantavirus, Agent Mulder?
Yeah, it was a deadly virus spread by field mice in the southwestern United States several years ago.
According to the newspaper, FEMA was called out to manage an outbreak of the hantavirus. Are you familiar with what the Federal Emergency Management Agency's real power is? FEMA allows the White House to suspend constitutional government upon declaration of a national emergency. Think about that. What is an agency with such broad sweeping power doing managing a small viral outbreak in suburban Texas?
You're saying it wasn't such a small outbreak?
No. I'm saying it wasn't the hantavirus.
Well, what was it? What was it?
When we were young men in the military, your father and I were recruited for a project. They told us it was biological warfare or a virus.
But here's what they never want people to understand. None of it works without public compliance. The entire agenda depends on fear, deception, and obedience, while the machinery is built behind closed doors. According to Bill Gates' former staffer, the moment people learn the damning information she's about to reveal, the entire globalist operation begins collapsing in real time.
My name is... For 12 years, I was a virologist for Bill Gates at one of the most powerful global health organizations on Earth. I thought I was saving people. I was actually helping build the machinery to kill billions. It was a rainy night in this cold waterfront mansion outside Seattle, fall of 2023, just the inner circle. My boss stands up, eyes flat and dead like a shark's, and says in this calm, almost hungry voice, 15% was pathetic. They fight us. They keep fucking breeding. They won't lie down and die like they're supposed to. So, we're raising the fucking target. He let it hang there, then dropped the hammer. He said 84%, billions erased in our lifetime. My stomach twisted so hard I thought I'd puke right there. He hadn't told the world yet, but we knew his foundation would close in 20 years. Now I understood. It's a countdown to mass extinction. Hit 84% and they shut the lights off. Mission accomplished. No more foundation, no more evidence, just silence. He got this twisted, almost sexual look on his face and kept going. We're creating something special, he said. A fast-acting HIV that transmits through the air, full CD4 cell destruction.
but we've added enhanced mucosal binding so it spreads like the flu. One cough in a crowd, 6 weeks later, their immune systems are liquefied from the inside. The African labs are perfect. Endless primates, no oversight, perfect for serial passage. DARPA's vectors make it unstoppable. Hantavirus is already a horror show. Lungs bleeding out, drowning in your own fluids while you suffocate awake. We're weaponizing it for easy person-to-person spread. Then he smiled, this creepy, soulless smile. And the rats, he said, we've rewritten their brains. Neural tropism. They don't just carry it anymore. They hunt. They swarm into homes at night. Bite, shit, piss everywhere. Living, breathing plague bombs that never stop coming. Cheap. Self-replicating. Impossible to contain. When the meeting ended, he pulled me close and whispered, you get it. The beauty of it. The screaming will go on for a while, but eventually it stops. The planet will be quiet again. Peaceful. I ran that same night, grabbed every file I could and disappeared. I've been terrified ever since. The man is a monster now, completely deranged and obsessed. He's got DARPA and secret biolabs across Africa, churning out nightmare after nightmare. He started with 15% and got addicted. Now he wants 84%, and he's not going to stop until the bodies pile so high the rest of us are buried. If you're hearing this, I'm still alive for now. The new strains are already being grown. The rats are being released. That 20-year clock is ticking down. This is real. It's coming. Please believe me before it's too late.
She's not wrong about Gates and his biolab cartel weaponizing the hantavirus. It was never considered highly contagious between humans until very recently. In fact, early 1990s hantavirus fact sheets explicitly stated the virus was not transmissible person to person. So now with authorities suddenly warning about rapid human spread, people have every right to ask what changed. What she didn't mention, because it fell outside of the scope of her personal work, is that Gates and his network developed hantavirus mRNA vaccines in parallel with the weaponized virus itself. And the results of the hantavirus vaccine human trial conducted by the military? 98% of participants injected with the experimental vaccine suffered adverse events. And for the record, in case they try to change the narrative when the media gets involved in the propaganda push, the DNA plasmid was created at the Fort Detrick BSL-4 Army Lab, just like the shady origins of the mRNA vaccine, which RFK Jr. revealed was actually created by the US military, before it was handed over to Moderna and Pfizer for the public rollout. Keep all of this in mind when the mainstream media is gaslighting you and cranking up the pressure to take the miracle vaccine for an engineered pandemic. Also keep in mind that hantavirus is listed in Pfizer's 38-page documents. It's on page 33. Hantavirus is one of 1,233 listed side effects of the COVID vaccine. Just another coincidence, I'm sure you'll agree. If you're doing your own research and digging into dangerous topics online like this one, you need to be protected. Legacy VPNs? Forget it. Proton? It's literally funded by the WEF and DU. Let that sink in. Express Nord Surfshark? They all keep logs. They all cave to warrants. They're all headquartered in 5949 countries that will hand your IP over faster than you can blink. You need something that can't betray you. That's VP.net, the world's first trustless VPN.
Yeah, that's cute and all, but anyway, they'll still get through that VPN. This world is horrible. It is horrible. And why did they put her confession in like an AI reading model for a Tubi movie? Like, cut that shit out. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever narrate no goddamn story like an Audible again. Please don't. It draws credit from it. It takes credit from it, okay? It makes it unbelievable. But any old way, don't forget police bust up a massive Disney cruise ship of a pedophile ring with 28 child rapists arrested. Yeah, buddy. Federal agents have shattered an alleged exploitation ring operating aboard Disney cruise ship after the vessel docked in San Diego, according to reports. Witnesses described a chaotic scene at the port as dozens of cruise employees, some still dressed in Disney character costumes, were led away in handcuffs during the sweeping operation. More than 24 Disney cruise ship workers were arrested at U.S. Customs and Border Protection in what authorities are describing as a major crackdown on child exploitation activity linked to the vessel. Dharmi Mahati told the California Post that she was a passenger on one of the ships and that it was really unsettling seeing the arrest and including one worker who was her server during the 5-day trip. They were in full uniform, which was in a blazer tie. Some of the other employees were still in their chief uniforms with their name tags on, Meta said. Yep, we know. In all, 28 people from the 3 different countries, 26 from the Philippines, 1 from the Indonesia, and another from Portugal were interviewed, and 27 were found to have taken part in the receipt, possession, transportation, and distribution of viewing child sexual exploitation material or child scam. CBC agents boarded a total of 8 cruise ships in the port of San Diego between April 23rd and April 27 in search of the suspects. CBP said the suspects' visas had been revoked and they are scheduled for deportation. The port of San Diego told Fox News Digital that it was not involved in the law enforcement action and that under California law, local and state authorities do not cooperate with federal immigration authorities. Let me repeat that one more time. California is so where the fucking devil lives. This motherfucker said that I need to remind you that in the law enforcement action that under California law, local and state authorities do not cooperate with federal immigration authorities, meaning we will not help to detain them pedos. That's crazy. In a statement to Fox News Digital, Disney said, "We have zero tolerance policy for this type of behavior and fully cooperated with law enforcement. While the majority of these individuals were not from our cruise line, those who were are no longer with the company." Yeah, anyway. If you haven't heard the latest, Trump says the Pentagon is preparing to release some very interesting UFO files. Yes, you heard me. The Nordic aliens are pumping it up a bit. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced that the Pentagon is preparing to release some very interesting UFO files uncovered by his administration. His comments have generated a mix of buzz and skepticism as he hinted at new revelations around the question of alien life. The president started stoking interest in extraterrestrials in February and has directed federal agencies to release their records related to extraterrestrial life and UFOs. Since then, he has built suspense with tantalizing updates while teasing at imminent release of documents that the U.S. government has never shared before. Just recently, prominent U.S. pastors claimed that intelligence officials have contacted them, warning that they need to prepare for UFO disclosures that could upend Christian beliefs. PBS News reports Trump has relished in portraying himself as the president who spills the secrets. In the first week returning to office, he ordered the release of the records related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. This disclosure revealed little beyond was already known, that the government did it. In the build-up to release, Trump said the American people deserve transparency and truth. So go ahead and tell us why you in them goddamn Epstein files. Bitch. Play if you want to. You tried it. Now, as he turns to the sky, the president has struck a similar tone, suggesting answers to decades-old questions may be on the way. His February directive on social media called for transparency around alien extraterrestrial life. Didn't I tell you this was coming? Didn't I tell you this was happening? Haven't I been preparing you? And I told you about the Nordic aliens. I done said, hey, y'all, the government is about to do full disclosure. I told you this, bitch. In all of our classes, I said, hey, can I talk to you about our Lord and Savior, the Nordic aliens? They are colonizers of the planet. They took planet Earth over. Nobody wanted to listen to me, and yet here we are. Alien disclosure. Then I literally told you when American Horror Story literally showed you where President Eisenhower was literally doing the UFO alien treaty. We made a treaty with the aliens in 1954, but you wouldn't know about it because they keep it under wraps. So Trump is imitating what Eisenhower was doing in 1954, disclosing the intelligence of aliens, extraterrestrials, ultra-terrestrials, and UFOs. David Wilcox telling you the same fucking thing. Amy Eckhart telling you the same fucking thing. It's no secret. It's no secret. But here they're about to, and they're going to fake the coming of the Messiah. Don't stay tuned for that. Get out of there. Boom, leave, go. Anyway, this world is crazy. They cutting up. It's the apocalypse. I have been preparing you for the apocalypse the whole entire time, bucko. What else do I have for you? And as soon as the Hantavirus is being released, Western Australia is experiencing an out-of-control mouse plague. Now, why every time they want to experiment with biochemicals, why do they go to Australia? You remember when they started off COVID, it was Australia. And when they started out the FLU and the VACCINE, Australia. I'm trying to tell you, Australia and America and Africa is literally the three civilizations that started this entire world. They just broke them up and they just put them on. They just literally separated three different continents. You need to know that the Aboriginal Indians are from Australia, Africa, and America. That's why they all start with A's. Aboriginal. Okay? They always leave you a clue. It's called the full disclosure. Okay? Western Australia is currently experiencing an out-of-control mouse plague with populations exceeding 4,000 mice per hectare in some areas. The mice are devastating newly planted crops, contaminating local businesses, and forcing grain producers to urgently apply stronger bait in order to mitigate hundreds of millions of dollars in potential agricultural damage. A leading mice researcher is calling for urgent action as he says mice are at plague proportions in Western Australian grain paddocks. A population exceeding 800 mice per hectare as defined as a plague. Residents say that the number of mice in their homes is also unprecedented, with the little rodents chewing through plastic containers, milk cartons, food containers. And one post controller said that some infestations are at levels he's never seen before. ABC.net reports that Cicero research officer Steve Henry, who has studied reported house numbers and paddocks from Geraldton and Esperance, said the figures were alarming. I'm really concerned, Mr. Henry said. When you're getting over 200 or 300 mice per hectare, then you've really got cause for concern. They're counting between 3,000 and 4,000 barrows, which is 6,000 to 8,000 mice per hectare in some locations. Mr. Henry said he visited WA in 2022, and when numbers were high, but this year the problem was worse. Grain paddocks surrounded the small community of Morawa and 360 kilometers northeast of Perth. Long-term residents and pest controllers Peter Sekanakus came home from a week away to find mice had taken root in his pantry. It was a horror story, he said. A dozen mice were visibly running over everything amongst torn bags of self-rising flour and sugar. He placed 7.5 kilograms of bait around his property, which was consumed in less than 3 days, and an amount he estimated could kill 75 kilograms of mice. Mr. Sekanakukas said the problem was widespread and he was being called out to more mouse infestations than ever before. He said a resident told him mice had eaten their way through plastic containers of rolled oats, nibbled through UHT milk containers, creating a flood. My supplier of chemicals have remarked that he's had an increase of sales in this area. So they're helping to spread it, what it's looked like. That's what it's starting to look like. Ooh, this world is something else, I tell you. Anyway, the famous Ted Turner is now dead at 87. CNN finder behind the population globe theory. Yep. He was your boy who was trying to depopulate. Oh my God, he created Cartoon Network. Oh my God, my childhood cartoons. Oh, fuck that nigga. Because the founder behind the population agenda and globalist propaganda machine is finally gone. Yep. Ted Turner, the billionaire founder of CNN and one of the most influential figures in promoting eugenics, depopulation, and the New World Order, is dead at 87. Turner's death makes the passing of a man seen not simply as a media pioneer, but as a central figure in the architecture of tightly controlled, globally synchronized information and control system. When Turner launched CNN in 1980, he didn't just create a television network, he created a permanent 24-hour propaganda narrative machine. For the first time in history, wars, crises, and political events could be broadcast continuously to a global audience, shaping perception in real time. That power, critics argue, fundamentally changed how reality itself is constructed. Instead of decentralized reporting, a handful of networks led by Turner's creation became gatekeepers of what billions of people see, hear, and ultimately believe. Ted Turner is dead. Good riddance to this demon. Here is Ted Turner, the founder of New World Order, UN Foundation, calling for depopulation due to climate change. This interview was 16 years ago, just to give you an idea of how long Agenda 21 has been in the works. Rest in peace.
What's the second highest priority?
The second biggest thing is global climate change. Okay. We've got to... And for so many reasons, we've got to move off of fossil fuel. Not doing it will be catastrophic. We'll have 8 degrees. We'll be 8 degrees hotter in 30 or 40 years. And basically none of the crops will grow. Most of the people will have died, and the rest of us will be cannibals. Civilization will have broken down. The few people who are left will be living in a failed state like Somalia or Sudan, and living conditions will be intolerable. The droughts will be so bad there'll be no more corn growing. Not doing it is suicide. And then after that, we've got to stabilize the population. When I was born, there
so what's wrong with the population? I mean,
with too many people. That's why we have global warming. We have global warming.
Is he drunk?
People are using too much stuff. If there were less people, they'd be using less stuff.
Mr. Turner, I was wondering if you think it's a good idea to reduce 90% of the population because we are being overpopulated by a lot of... 90%. 80? Prince Philip said 80, sir. I go with 85.
I think 2 billion is about right.
Right, me too. Thank you. Exactly.
Ooh, he said a one-child family policy. One-child family policy. He said he wants to literally wipe out 2 billion, to be exact. Not to mention there's 9 billion people on this earth. So he wants to get it at about 7 billion. Turner's influence didn't stop at media. His $1 billion donation to the United Nations and the creation of the United Nations Foundation placed him inside the highest levels of international policy and governance circles. To supporters, this philanthropy to skeptics, it looked like alignment with unelected global institutions increasingly shaping national policies from above, working towards a new world order and a one world government. But it was Turner's own words on population that left the deepest marks on his legacy. Over the years, he openly argued that the world's population was too large and needed to be reduced to a more sustainable level. Statements that ignited outrage and suspicion far beyond environmental debates. These comments weren't abstract concerns about resources, but evidence of an elite mindset that views humanity itself as a problem to be managed and cold. Combined with his environmental activism and deep ties to global organizations, those remarks cemented Turner's image among critics as a figure aligned with broader agenda, one that blends climate policy, population control rhetoric, and centralized global governance. Now with his death, the man is gone, but the system he helped build remains firmly in place. The 24-hour news cycle continues, the global institutions he supported remain influential, and the questions surrounding media power, population narratives, and who truly shapes the direction of the world are more relevant than ever. For those who viewed him as a driving force behind the transformation, Ted Turner's legacy is not just about he created, but the globalist abuse it enabled. Child, this world is scandalous. Woo! Anyway, if you haven't noticed, Americans have been finding boxes of ticks flying from the sky. As red meat allergy cases rise, questions explode. Yep. A video tearing across the internet has people asking a question of that it would have sounded absurd just a few years ago. Are ticks being deployed by the government? The clip is simple but disturbing. A hunter in a remote wooded area comes across what looks like a sealed container lying in dirt, as if he had just dropped in. When he opens it, the camera snatches a dense, seething mass inside. There's millions of them, he says, backing away. The box is crawling with ticks, packed together in a way that doesn't occur in nature. The ticks don't organize themselves into containers, and they don't fall from the sky, and they don't appear in what kind of concentration without a host. So what exactly is this? Woo! Let's take a look.
I'm out here mushroom hunting, and I found, there it is right there, the tick box. I'm not going to touch it because there's ticks all over that thing. I know there is. Look at them crawling out of it. Millions of them. You can see the tick.
What I do know is that Bill Gates is involved with genetically mutating mosquitoes and releasing them in the U.S. and Latin America and other areas, Africa. He is involved breeding up these deadly ticks. The CIA has declassified they're involved. And now these ticks, when you see this footage, people find these boxes that fall out of the sky. That's how they do it. The planes at night. And just all these baby ticks pour out of it. And I've been on hunting all over the country, in Canada, you name it. And I know where ticks are, and I've seen what baby ticks look like. This is 100%, thousands of baby ticks pouring out of the box. And this is what everybody's reporting everywhere. They keep catching videos of this, the same boxes. Little 10 boxes. Full of these ticks that are loaded with alpha-gal syndrome virus. So when they bite you, you can never eat red meat again. A lot of times you die. That's Bill Gates' specialty. You're watching AlexJonesLive.com. It was declassified in 2025. The CIA and the FBI, under Obama's command, launched the attacks to shut down the original InfoWars. But InfoWars belongs to the people, and it's stronger than it's ever been.
Anywho, that's what your government has been up to. Cannot make this up. Also, in another edition of What You Mean News, 31 U.S. states moved to ban geoengineering and chemtrails as conspiracy theories become conspiracy facts. For years, Americans were told that chemtrails were just a myth, just condensation lines in the sky, nothing more. Now, more than 30 United States are pushing legislation to ban the very thing that they were told doesn't exist. Across the country, state lawmakers are introducing and advancing bills aimed squarely at geoengineering, the deliberate manipulation of the atmosphere through aerosol spraying, cloud seeding, and other weather modification techniques. The language is technical, but the message is blunt. Stop anyone from altering the sky without consent. It's a remarkable shift. What was once dismissed as internet paranoia is now showing up in legal code. For over a decade, a public concern about unusual aircraft trails was waved away as misunderstanding. Now, officials insisted that they were ordinary contrails and a harmless byproduct of high-altitude flights. End of story, except it wasn't. Here we are. Behind the scenes, major institutions have spent years studying geoengineering in serious terms. The idea is simple. If global temperatures rise too fast, inject reflective particles into the upper atmosphere to block the sunlight and cool the planet. It's been discussed in academic journals, explored in climate models, and quietly debated in policy circles. In other words, the mechanism people were mocked for noticing is now being examined as a potential solution. Now the states are reacting. The new wave of legislation doesn't read like a theory. It reads like prevention. Lawmakers are citing risks to public health, environmental uncertainty, and the absence of any clear federal oversight. Some bills go further, targeting any attempt to release substances into the atmosphere for climate control. And that's where the narrative breaks down. If large-scale atmospheric manipulation isn't happening or isn't possible, why are lawmakers in dozens of states moving to outlaw it? Why draft bans for something that's supposedly just a misunderstanding, right? The answer coming from officials is cautious. This is about to be the future, not the present, and preemptive move to get ahead of emerging technologies. But for many watching this unfold, that explanation raises more questions than it answers, because the timeline doesn't quite add up. The public was told for years there was nothing to see, and now suddenly there's enough concern to justify sweeping legal action across the country. Geoengineering may still be framed as experimental, and it may still be wrapped in academic language and climate policy debates. But the legislative response is clear. Something serious enough to regulate is on the table. And once you start writing laws to control the sky, it's a lot harder to claim there was never anything there to begin with. We see what the fuck you're doing. Get the fuck out of here. That's why my asthma is so bad. Anyway, in other what you mean news, the U.S. military has spent more than $700 million on Ozempic and other GLP-1 weight loss drugs. The U.S. military has spent nearly $726 million buying weight loss medication since 2021, including $274.6 million in fiscal year of 2025, according to records obtained by the Open Books. Military personnel have criticized the hundreds of millions spent on Ozempic and other GLP-1s, weight loss drugs, as a misguided approach to address the obesity crisis in the United States Armed Forces. Let me go ahead and talk to you about this food. Do not eat it. Do not eat it. If it ain't fruits, if it ain't vegetables, make sure they have the seeds and everything, because I promise you, something's wrong with the food. The food is mutated and it makes everybody really fat, and they know that. So that's why it's like they're feeding you this lab engineered food, and then they're giving you the GLP-1 to take the weight off, but you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Everybody's losing muscle mass. Y'all don't even look right. You don't even look right. Ozempic makes nobody look right. On that GLP-1, nobody looks right. And everybody's been having so many problems. Do not do it. Something is wrong with the fucking food. Okay? That's why they're handing out Ozempic like it's goddamn condoms. Don't eat the lab engineered food. Okay? Anyway, approximately 68% of the military's reserve and National Guard forces are classified as overweight. A report from American Security Project revealed in 2025. Military personnel have criticized the hundreds of millions spent on Ozempic and other GLP-1 weight loss drugs as misguided approach to addressing the obesity crisis in the United States Armed Forces. Evidently, the food is so bad, the Army can't even work it off in the drills. The lab engineered food is so bad, and you know how they go through training and physicals. They do PT all day. They're saying the food is so bad. So you know how the government feeds the military, right? So whatever the military is eating, we're eating, because it's all manufactured out of Cisco, food manufacturers, Tyson's, and all them people. And so whatever the military is eating, we're eating. And what they're saying is the food that we are eating is so screwed up with a genetic mutation in it that the obesity is so excessive that you're going to have something like a GLP-1 to knock it off your body. That's what they're saying. because now the U.S. Army has an obesity crisis. Ain't that crazy? TGP reports subsequent to this report, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth expressed his concern on X, stating, completely unacceptable. This is what happens when standards are ignored, and this is what we're changing. Real fitness and weight standards are here. We will be fit, not fat. Was the solution found in raising the bar for real fitness and weight standards? Perhaps they were. However, some startling revelations concerning weight loss have emerged with real clear investigations dubbing this disclosure the waste of the day. Since 2021, the military has allocated nearly $726 million for Ozempic and other GLP-1 weight loss medication. And with $274.6 million spent in fiscal year 2025, as revealed by the spending records acquired by the open books, this expenditure encompasses 102,000 individual purchases, all made through the Defense Logistics Agency for troop support. The majority of the funds were directed to the wholesale pharmaceutical company and Cencora. Over a dozen varieties of GLP-1 medications were acquired, including Wegovy, Mounjaro, and Trulicity. Don't take that shit. They've been broadcasting it on all of the commercials. You can't even watch TV without this shit coming on. Okay? Don't do it. Many individuals and taxpayers alike who have served in the military are infuriated. Lieutenant Ted Macy, a retired Navy Medical Service Corps officer, was appalled that he informed the Gateway pundit that data obtained from the Defense Medical Epidemiology database indicated that obesity rates have surged in the military over the last decade. From 2016 and 2019, an average of 13,000 cases in overweight obesity were documented across all branches of services. This average rose to 21,969,000 and between 2020 and 2023. Remarkably, there was a 190% increase during this period, with cases soaring from 12,000 to 35,000. Macy criticized the use of Ozempic and other GLP-1 medications as yet another bandage on a broken leg. And this one comes with nearly $1 billion tax burden and the avoidable poor choices. He has long been advocated for fitness nutrition in both personally as a command fitness leader. It's frustrating to watch policies that miss the mark while service members pay for the price, he lamented. There are well-documented life-altering side effects like bone and muscle loss. What did I just tell you? Don't take that shit. The side effects are bone and muscle loss. If you lose the plasma in your bones, that's where your plasma comes from. If you lose all of that good stuff in your bones, the marrow, that's how you get bone cancer. That's why I tell y'all guys, don't go donate plasma, because it weakens your bone marrow and it gives you bone cancer. Please do not do this. This is not a great idea. Do not take Wegovy. Do not take GLP-1s. Do not take Ozempic. Do not take Mounjaro. Do not take Trulicity. Do not take that shit. You're going to lose not only your bone marrow, but you're going to lose muscle mass. Okay? You don't want it. You just don't want it. Okay? Lose the weight naturally. Eat fruits and vegetables. Flush out with water. Flush the toxins out with water. Okay? Sea moss. Detox. Take some viral reject and you'll be fine. Okay? Now, after you have the side effects of bone loss, muscle loss, vision issues, kidney problems, the kind of things you don't just cure at the next physical readiness test. Macy argued that the military's message was contradictory, and when overweight service members are regularly promoted and seen throughout installations, he said, it undermines any genuine assertion that readiness and health are important. These commanders can't preach fitness while rewarding the opposite. And I tell you what happened. You done call everybody and their mama back to enlist. You done raised the age to 42, and you're getting a bunch of fat, obese adults. You're getting a lot of fat people because y'all tampered with that fucking food. Nobody can walk this shit off. We got to work extra hard to work it off. I mean, you're not even giving us a chance to fight this shit, okay? You eat one thing and it's going to stick on you for a month. We're not stupid. It's not faring well with our genetics, and it's causing morbid obesity. And so now it's so bad that you got to create a chemical to deter it. No, sir, stay out of the lab. Stay out of the lab. In his view, the military's investment of $726 million in what is essentially a temporarily fix is very short-sighted. Odds are we'll be paying for the downstream health consequences later, too, he admitted. He continues to display the power of the relationship with pharmaceutical industry and the military. In conclusion, Macy remarked, this is par for course, unfortunately. Ooh, your government ain't shit. Also, another What You Mean news, Trump rejects Iran's peace proposal. Well, go figure. Go figure. In other What You Mean news, a former U.S. admiral says that America and all humans alike are under. Former U.S. Admiral says non-human intelligence has Earth under surveillance. The Earth is under surveillance of a higher extraterrestrial intelligence, according to retired Rear Admiral and former U.S. Deputy Secretary of Commerce Timothy Gaudulette. He started that our planet is being visited and surveyed by a higher order, non-human intelligence, and the intentions of which are unknown. Gaudulette also served as the acting administrator of the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, claims its intelligence is operating in both the air and water. He has joined the growing group of former U.S. military intelligence officials advocating for greater disclosure regarding the reality of unidentified aerial phenomenon. Like I said, the alien epidemic is on its way as well. Okay? As well. Oh. In other What You Mean news, Met Police Chief calls for special force to protect Jews. Can't make this shit up. It's been fact-checked. Sir Mac Rowley has said the Metropolitan Police requires a new specialist unit to protect Jewish communities from anti-Semitism following the recent attack in Golders Green. Speaking on Friday, the Met Commissioner revealed he had put forward a proposal to Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood calling for government funding to establish permanent unit of around 300 additional neighborhood and armed officers. The unit would be dedicated to tackling what he called an epidemic of anti-Semitism. He added, but see, hold on. With all the white people who are on the internet right now screaming and committing hate crimes and saying the word nigga with a hard R and with the easy A, why won't y'all make a special force to protect niggas, Negroes, melanated indigenous Indians? Why won't you do that? Formerly known as African Americans and black people. Why won't you create a force to protect us? Because when we look online, we see nothing but racial hate crimes happening in real time. A white man or a woman will get under anybody with melanin's posts and will start to rage bait us. It's sick. It's sick. It's very fucking sick. I don't understand it. And it shows that we're not protected as a people. So when is that going to happen? Anyway, this has been another edition of What You Meme News. I'm your amazing host here in Crystal Clear, and this is your news for the week. All right. I have articles posted up about all the things we've talked about in this video. And if you want to take the time to read more about what your government has planned for you in this lovely season 2026 of spring, What the Fuck Is We Doing on Earth edition, you can follow me on Facebook and on YouTube under here in Crystal Clear. Other than that, it's been a lovely evening getting to know you once again. We are back. We have our live button back. I hope you've enjoyed the news. Also, if you like what we're doing here at What You Meme News and you would like to donate to the cause, Cash App is Oracle 833 or Venmo is Oracle 1183. Okay, we love donations and all the help we can get. Also, if you need viral reject, leave the comment VR in the comments, and also hit the like and subscribe button because we're back to getting stars again, baby. We can make money again now that we're not banned. But I'm just trying to deliver the uncensored truth to you and do it the best way that What You Meme News know how. Once again, I'm here in Crystal Clear, and baby, I'm out. Hanta is here.